Gary, 6 wins from the last 7 games. It's got to sit into the playoff mix at the very least. How important is it to keep this run going?
Well, it's very important. It's a great time to keep it going. You don't want to leave it too late in the season. As I said before, if you've got 6 or 7 teams above you later on, you might not have enough time or points to play for to keep competing for the top spot. You know, it becomes sort of too late, not so many games. But if we can do what we're doing now, and that is gaining ground on teams over the last sort of month especially, that were above us, then we've done our job, and now we need to kick on again and keep the run going. It's not quite a run. I know we had, what did you say, six wins in 7, but we've had 2 league wins on the trot, which was good because both games were difficult games, and hopefully we can test ourselves against the team that were top of the league for some time, Halifax. We tested ourselves against Barrow, so hopefully we're going into these games nice and confident in the fact that we are catching them up, and we are only 5 points off the top team now when it was double that last month.
What is it about the way the team's playing at the moment which is pleasing you the most?
Well, up until the first half against Wrexham, I was pleased, but I think we're showing that we're a competent squad. People like Busey's come in and Frank's come in. I know people are seeing what they've got now. We're giving people vital experience, because you're going to need your whole squad when the FA Cup, the FA Trophy, the Devon Cup, the league, when all that comes round, you've got to make sure that your squad are ready. And so, I've just been really pleased with the way they've gelled. I've been pleased with their camaraderie and team spirit, because I've seen that in abundance. And of course we look like we've got some good power and pace in our team, and at the moment our subs bench looks strong, and there's competition for the subs bench as well now, with Niati's back, Asa will be back, obviously we've got Seiko, Obi's now fit, so there's a lot of players now that we've got to manage, if you like. And yeah, that's what we've got to do. Some people will miss out. There will be a couple of lads going out on loan if we can find them clubs. I mean, Ryan's already gone out, Ryan Dixon, to get games. Have we had the stuff back in that yet? Okay, well, when we do, he'll be going out on loan, because that's all arranged with Truro. And then, as I say, probably at least one other will go out to get games.
Seiko came on and looked very bright. What do you aim to get out of him during his loan spell here? And he looks ready to get going.
Yeah, well, we hope to get the best out of him. I thought he looked very comfortable, confident when he came on straight away, and got himself a chance where the keeper made a good save and played a couple of great balls in for assist situations. We didn't quite score from him, but he's just a bundle of energy and a bundle of joy at the minute, because he's so desperate to play football, and that's his strength. He loves playing football, he loves being involved, loves scoring goals. So and obviously him and Reedy know each other's game very well through last year. So I'm sure it gives us that extra string to our bow up front. So it's that is like a top new signing at this stage of the season.
Halifax are flying high. What can we expect from the game?
Well, they started off very, very well, didn't they? Now they've had a little bit of they won their last game, but they had a little bit of a dodgy patch where they hadn't scored in 3 games, I think. Then they won 1-0, was it, this week? But yeah, we've had a good look at them, and we can see why they win games. Generally, they win or lose because I think they've only had 2 draws, so probably don't expect a draw up there. And I'm sure both teams will be going for the win anyway. So I'm looking forward to this one because it's after our good home form of a couple of wins. It'd be nice to go to a team that were top of the league and see how we compete and how we cope with that one. And hopefully we'll start brighter than we did against Wrexham.
And in terms of injuries, what can we expect in terms of the squad, and what can you tell us about that kind of thing? Is it pretty much the same situation as it was?
No, it's the same. Yeah, I mean, Asa is not far away at all, and people like Asa, Dooku, Rory, Jean, Joe Lewis, they will be playing in our Devon Bowl
Challenge Cup.
Devon Challenge Cup. They'll be playing in that to give them, hopefully 90 minutes worth of fitness. So that's good. Opie as well, he needs that. So it's a good game to have next Tuesday for those boys that we need to give 90 minutes to see whether they're ready for 90 minutes.
It's overlooked, isn't it? But it's really important to you this season now to get the squad playing.
Yeah, because we need the squad playing 90 minutes. I want to be able to choose from 20 odd players that have all got 90 minutes in them. And I want them competing for a place. Sometimes you have to sit them down and say, I'm sorry you're not involved this week, or Joe Lewis has got his international stuff, as well that come up every now and again. So you're going to lose him a couple of times for the next part of the season. But so that those games are important, and our friendly games are important, even though they're not friendlies. Because the lads know that they've got to impress the management to get a game.
I think quite a lot of supporters were intrigued on Tuesday night to see your goalkeeping selection, or probably not Tuesday night, over the last couple of games. I know you worked very hard to get Lucas in, and you were equally pleased with Sean last season. What's the sort of the thinking behind that? Of most people sort of go, oh well, he'll stick with one for a while now, he'll stick with the other.
Well, I may do, but at this moment in time, it's really important with all players, but especially goalies, because if a goalie becomes number 2 too early, he can almost give up. He's not going to enjoy the season. And I've said I've got 2 first-team goalies, and it's very important that I show both of them that I've got total confidence in both of them. So I'd rather leave one of them out after playing well than leave him out after not playing well, if you know what I mean. Now, I've got to stand or fall by those decisions, and whatever I do, if we get beat in a game, then people say I made the wrong decision. But I'm doing it for the right reasons, because it's a long season and we're going to need both of them. And when the time comes, and let's say it's Christmas or something, and one of them's ill, or one of them has a dodgy turkey or something, and you've got to go to the other one, he's got to know that that he's played games, that he still feels sharp, the manager still has got confidence in him, whoever that is. So I think that's really important, that is, to me, especially with goalkeepers, because that is one position. If you're an outfield player, you might be able to get blooded in 2 or 3, 4 or 5 different positions. So,
because it's such a specialised slot.
Yeah. But also that competition is basically between the 2 of them. Now they're good friends. They help each other. They look after each other. They don't need. I'm showing that they don't need to try and get one over on each other in any way, because they don't quite know who I'm going to pick in any particular week. But I'm doing what I'm doing for the right reasons, for this football club and for the team, and obviously for players themselves. So
And also,
at
I
the
suppose-
moment, it's worked out quite well.
Yes, yeah. Also, although Lucas is 27, in terms of English pro football, he's not hugely experienced. Sean's only 22,
Yeah.
so it's not as if you're talking about a hugely experienced senior keeper
No.
who's your number one
No.
with an understudy.
No.
You are
Yeah.
two lads who are genuinely competing.
Yeah,
with
very
Sean.
important that neither of them are called understudies,
Yes.
or feel that they're understudies. That's one of the reasons why I need to make sure that they get enough games each to perform,
Yeah.
and they have been.
So we'll wait for each week for the next few months to see who you've gone pouring up.
Well, there you go. Something happens, and
Quite.
but I've it may not look like it, but I've got a pattern in my head.
No.
You don't want to be playing one this week, one next week, one this week,
All
one
the
next
time,
week, all
yeah.
the time. But that in that position, you need somebody who's ready to play
Yeah.
in any adverse circumstances.
And Sean did step up with a great performance in really difficult conditions on Tuesday.
Yeah, I
night.
thought
There was
he was-
one cracking save.
Yeah, no, he was terrific. The save just before we scored, was it? I think.
Yeah, it was.
Was a top save, and listen, they both make match-winning saves. Of course, in that weather, all goalkeepers sometimes skew with a kick out, or but they've both been pretty good at not making massive enough mistakes that it costs you the game. Everyone's going to make one or two mistakes maybe over a period of a couple of games, but these two are solid people, solid goalkeepers.
Obviously, every silver lining has a cloud to it. We've lost Armani this week, which is I know you're a huge fan of all the players, but you're a big fan of his, and it must be shattering for him. I've just seen him coming today, which I know you're very keen on doing.
Yeah.
What's the starting price there with him, and how are you going to try and manage that situation with him personally?
With Armani?
Yeah.
All you can do is, is involve him all the time. He'll be in all meetings. We'll be asking him what he thinks. I think he'll be on the bench with us. He's certainly in the changing rooms. He's probably going to come to all games. He wants to keep involved. Of course, it's still new, and he still hasn't had his results yet from the specialist. They're just waiting for the MRI scan to be sent over so that the specialist can have a look at it. So, he's young, and he's going to miss it because he's another one that loves football. But that will just mean that we know that he'll definitely work hard. He's a great kid and a great footballer, and he's got his whole career ahead of him.
And these type of injuries, that they're I suppose it's the same with every injury. You've got to get to the bottom of it and sort it out, haven't you? But hamstrings are so difficult sometimes to
Well,
cope.
it's very important to find the right surgeon, or if it's an operation, or the right diagnosis, the right specialist, to make sure that he gets the best, because he has got a long career ahead of him, and he doesn't want something that keeps cropping up, every so often for him, and he's out for quite a long time. So this particular surgeon that we're hoping to get him to see has had many players actually search him out, and he's got a great reputation for making sure that injuries A, clear up quickly, but B, stay away. In fact, even my assistant Aaron Downs, he worked on him with his cruciate, and Downsy says that he saved his career at a very early age. So, if you've got recommendations like that from other players, which you've got others as well, then he's the man we're trying to get to.
When Do you think in a funny sort of way that the first half against Wrexham, right, we ended up winning the game, and when that happens, that it might have actually a plus point in terms of reminding all the players of you know, it only needs to come off it a tiny little bit, that it can turn into a, you didn't feel like it at the time, but it can turn into a big plus point.
Well, it was a big plus point because the game certainly could have gone their way in the first half, and then in the second half I thought we came out and created a lot more chances, we had a lot more energy about us, we come out like Trojans in the second half, and we put them under pressure. We was relentless in that second half, even though they still had 1 or 2 opportunities, but we had 3 or 4 opportunities. So games are going to be like that at this level. They definitely are, you know, because we've all seen that every team that we've come up against has got a danger man, they've got a tactic, they work on trying to stop us, playing our best game, we're trying to stop them. So, you know, you're talking a very, very good standard here where people work every day to improve themselves. So, you know, anybody who wins this league or gets promoted nowadays out of this league would have done an unbelievable job because the league is very strong this year.